Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of the Switch It Up Show. My name is Glenn, and I am joined, of course, by my wonderful co-host, Mr. Seth Trav.
That's me, everybody. How are we doing today?
I am doing very well, sir. Thank you for joining me on. We're approaching 160 episodes, which is crazy. I don't even know how much runtime that we've put in here, and without your help, it definitely wouldn't be able to be accomplished.
Very true, sir.
You're like, that's right. Let me just.
Oh, I thought you were saying the fans. I'm so sorry. Yes. You and I are a team. A great team.
Of course, without the fans. Although, it's great. It's great that you're listening. But you and I are definitely no stranger into speaking into the ether either.
Of course, yes. Yeah, we talk to anybody and everybody about this show. Thank you to everyone new to the podcast. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying the show. Tell all your friends.
Yes. Great album, by the way.
Yes, great album. Taking Back Sunday's second.
No, it's the first one.
Oh,
first
my
one.
God.
Don't you dare.
And I'm dating myself even more
dare.
by bringing up Taking Back Sunday.
Well, I started it, so it's okay. But this episode is interesting because it's not just you and me. My son Max actually joins the podcast at a ripe old age of 4.5. This
4
episode.
whole years.
It's interesting, and it was a good time, and I think he does super well. Very minor editing on our part here. He did a great job, and he's going to join me in the first review here, and it's going to be for a game called Say No More, which is this really kind of interesting, different type of game that I really wasn't expecting him to play, but he ended up kind of just sitting down, playing with me, and you get to kind of hear both of our takes on it. So I'm super excited to listen to that. But before we jump into that, let's go ahead and listen to the rest of these sweet tunes. All right, everybody. So for my game this week, I actually had help. Here on the podcast, Seth and I always review a game, but for this game, it actually turned out that my son Max, who's here with me right now, helped me out and played this game along with me. Max, say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Max, how old are you?
4.
4 years old. And what was the name of the game that we played?
Say No More.
Say No More. And we played it on which system did we play it on?
Wii U.
Oh, try again. What's the other one?
Give me a hint.
It's what you do with the light switch.
What's another hint?
The Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo Switch.
Yes, we played Say No More on the Nintendo Switch. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read a little bit about Say No More, okay? And then I'm going to ask you some questions because I played the game a little bit, but who played a lot of the game?
Me.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so Say No More is the world's first NPG no-playing game, a brand new experience coming straight from the minds of Studio Fizbin. In a world where everyone sticks to the status quo of saying yes, create your own custom character and take on the role of an intern on a mission to change the world with the positive power of the word
No.
With this new power, nothing will get in your way as you shout
No.
at any absurd requests fired your way. Using the simple controls designed for anyone to pick up and play, start your working life through a predetermined path in a quirky office environment, as well as shouting
No.
in your chosen language and use your
No.
different emotional states to send them reeling. Confuse people with different actions to let their guard down, then charge up your
No.
for an even greater effect on unsuspecting colleagues. Touching on a timeless and modern issues such as social etiquette, friendship, and workplace standards, this hilarious adventure also has tender depth. It's all wrapped up in a fun late 90s style video game, complete with chunky, colorful visuals, comical animations, and jazzy music that you'll struggle to say
No.
to. Key features include choose how to say
No.
a heated,
No.
a cold,
No.
a lazy,
No.
and a wacky.
No.
Charge your
Now.
For bigger effects, irritate your colleagues, laugh at them, clap at them, at them, make them listen to you, but sarcastically. Say
Now.
in many different languages. Customize your character. Fight mean colleagues, supervisors, and bosses. Make your friends in your lunch break. That's a strange way to say that. Laugh out loud because this game is very funny. It features a rad mixtape. And learn to say
Now.
more. This game came out on April 9th for the Nintendo.
Swiss.
And the languages are Japanese, French, German, Italian, Spanish, Korean, Portuguese, Russian,
what's
Chinese. Yes.
Which one did we do?
We did English, and that was the last language. That was a great setup. And when we played this, do you remember, how did we play this? Look at these pictures right here. We got handheld mode. Did you hold the Nintendo Switch in your hand? Nope. What about on a table? Was the Nintendo Switch on a table? Nope. It was plugged into the...
Puzzle.
Oh, yeah, into the charger, into the dock. So we played in TV mode, and you used a controller, right?
Yeah.
That controller is called the Pro Controller. So you can play this game in handheld mode, tabletop mode, or plugged into the TV, and it supports the Pro Controller. Did you like using the Pro Controller? Was that your first time playing with it?
Remember I played Super Mario Maker 2?
Yes.
And Super Mario and Say No More.
That's right. You played Say No More with it. And do you remember when we were playing Say No More, were there a lot of buttons? No, not a lot, huh? Do you remember which button you had to press the most?
A.
A.
Because the A is the no button.
That's right.
So you just can't say no when people are talking.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. And when you were playing and you were saying no to people, I know when I was talking about the game, there were a few different types of no. Do you remember some of those no's?
Wacky, heat, cold, and lazy.
Lazy, that's right. And how did you pressed A to say no to all the people, and then what button do you remember that you had to press to change the no's?
The pad.
Yeah, the D-pad, right? You had to choose whether you're going like up for cold, or maybe it was down for cold or something like that. And you had to say all the different no's. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Which no was your favorite?
The heat.
How come?
Because he just like how he said that.
Yeah, he said...
My last favorite is the wacky. I like how it says wacky.
Yeah, it does. It's really... What is your character like when he says no?
No. Like that.
Yeah. Does he make like any type of crazy faces or anything like that?
No.
No, not
He
really.
only makes silly faces.
And when you're going through the level saying no to people, how do you make the character move? How do you make your guy move around?
The stick.
Yeah. Was it hard? Do you think this is a hard game to play?
No.
No, it's pretty easy because there's really not that many buttons that you have to play. Was there any part where you fight some of the bosses that you thought was hard?
The part when they asked everyone to say yes.
That's right. Yeah, at the end of the game, they get everyone to say yes.
One thing, how do you get the lunchbox back?
Ah, well.
So the game's just all about getting the lunchbox back.
Well, yeah, that is a main part of the game where the who takes the lunchbox?
The boss.
That's right. Is the boss good?
No.
No. She the boss is kind of like the what? The word. It starts with a V. Sometimes you say it means bad guy. The villain?
Yes.
Yeah.
Villain.
Yeah, that's the villain that you're going after, trying to get back your lunchbox because the boss does take it from you at one point. But you go through, we say no to a whole bunch of people in the game. Even though we just say no over and over, did you get bored when we were playing this game?
No.
How come?
Because I like the part when you no. And my favorite part's when you knock down the boss.
Yeah. Yep. How do the people fall down?
When you say no to them.
And you can say no real quick. And what's the other type of no? They've got the cold, the lazy, the wacky, the heated, and then there's something you can do to make your no like really strong. Do you remember?
Cold.
Charge it up. How do you do that?
you hold down A and B until that white one goes all around, and you need to let go quickly before, right after the white circle stops going around.
And if you get it just right, then what happens?
You do the toes now.
You do the charge no. Yeah.
Wait, is the toes? I don't remember. Is the toes no loud?
What do you think?
No.
Yeah, the charge no is very loud because what type of attack is the charge no?
It is really powerful.
It's a real powerful one. Yeah, definitely. Definitely a very powerful attack. So right now, Say No More is on the Nintendo Switch. You can get it on the Nintendo Switch eShop. And do you know how much money it costs? Can you read that?
$40.99.
Close. That's $14.99.
That we can be different characters.
You can. You actually, in the description we were talking about, you could set up a bunch of different characters. And it's $14.99. And you actually get 75 gold coins when you buy it. Do you think this game is fun, right?
Yeah.
Is it worth would you pay $14.99 to play this game?
Yes.
You would.
But Daddy?
Yes.
Is there a 2-player mode?
There is not. That's a great question. There's not a 2-player mode. This is a 1-player game. So you can play it with somebody, like you and I sat next to each other when we played this, but only for 1 player. Now, normally on this podcast, Seth and I give every game a score. A 1 being, maybe not so good, and a 5 being a great game. On a scale of 1 being not so good and 5 being like awesome, is it a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, or a 5?
But Dad, 5.
You give this 5. This is a great game, you say.
Yes.
So you think a lot of people should play this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is a really good game too. I like how it's nice and simple. There's not a lot of buttons to press, but there's actually a fun story, and it's easy for like anybody to play, right?
And it's easy to beat.
And it's quick, right? Yeah, it is pretty. It is
you
pretty
can
fast.
beat that whole game in one day.
Definitely can. You beat it. We beat it together.
But not if you started at the night.
Yeah, that's right. Because you might get tired. It might be time to go to bed. You might not make it. But I'd probably say you can play through it in like a little over an hour or so. I like this game too. I think I'd give this game maybe a 4 out of 5. So I didn't like it quite as much as you did, but I still like it. I think it's a good game.
Dad.
I
want to sit in the chair by myself.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let you sit in the chair, and I'll let Seth go ahead and do the next game. Thank you, Max, for helping out on the podcast today.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Well, my God, that was a great review. Thank you so much, Max and Glenn. You're saying that's your son? He knows so many words. I can't imagine. Like, my God. So good. So good there. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's interesting that we had such a young man at the ripe old age of 4 doing our first review, because I am playing a game called Heal on the PS4 and PS5, and it is about an old man. Ooh. And here is the synopsis. Heal is an experimental adventure game from the creator of the Distraint series, exploring the themes of aging and dementia. The narrative is driven by a strong and obscure atmosphere, with instructions and dialogue used only sparingly. Wake up from a dreamless sleep. Explore the mysteries of your surroundings and solve puzzles. It features side-scrolling 2D with unique handmade graphics, atmospheric sound design, an abstract world filled with puzzles, narrative driven by the atmosphere. It is currently $6.99 when you purchase it on the PS5. I also believe it is available on the Nintendo Switch, and it is from our good friends over at Retaliaka Games. Now, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, what you're going to notice about Heal is the graphic design of it. The entire thing is set up very much sort of like, I want to say it reminds me of a painting that you would sort of see in like a dentist's office. It's a lot of settings sort of like that. It seems very painted and old and like it has a veneer to it maybe. The sound design is unsettling and gives you a sort of sense of unease. And the story is very sort of, it's light information and it's a lot of innuendo, I would say. It's a lot of assumptions and implication. And the more that is implied, the more upsetting it could be for you. I don't want to spoil it, but the game does very clearly say that it deals with the themes of aging and dementia. So the game gets sad, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to tell you there, the game gets sad. It is not too confusing. Like, you can solve the puzzles all on your own. The biggest problem, I think, is going to be understanding how to actually work some of the puzzles. Like, if you go back and watch the video, which you can find down here in our show notes of me playing the game, you'll see that I forgot how to use a rotary phone. I'm sitting there on a rotary phone, literally just pushing these buttons on the rotary phone because it's a video game. And I thought that's what you did. I didn't even consider that I needed to actually spin the rotary phone around to make the numbers pop up. It took me like 5 minutes to make that understanding. So things like that, it does present a challenge in that way. But overall, it's a relatively short game. I want to say it maybe took me 2.5, 3 hours to beat it all. And I was, I'm not thinking necessarily my best. But overall, it is like a sort of higher end escape room, if you will. A lot of the puzzles are going to remind you of that, because it's a lot of like, well, let me slide this over, let me touch this, and oh, here's a piece of paper with some numbers on it that I can now take back to the door, which will get me through another door, and possibly outside, which then opens up another door, and so on. And that goes on for about 5 levels. And that's the game, ladies and gentlemen. It is short-ish, and it is very emotional. And it's slightly engaging for your brain. So because of all of that, I'm going to give Heal, the console edition on the PS4 and PS5, a 4 out of 5.
This is one of the times where we've done the episode where the games are like pretty much right there in terms of score. I gave Say No More a 4 out of 5. Max gave it a 5 out of 5. Loved it.
He loved it.
I loved it.
I know. I was his first review out the gates.
Out the gates.
So generous.
5 out of 5, and you're going ahead with the.
That's the big heart of a child.
That's it, man. That's it. I mean, we are positive people here.
In the house, you.
That's right. So I mean, like, yeah, 3, like what, 4, 5, and then another 4. That's a very, very positive episode.
Very positive episode.
Awesome, man. Good stuff. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, you can tune into the Switch It Up show. We got episodes coming out left and right, covering a little bit of the games on the Switch, the PS4, that we've done the PS5. We've done Steam on the Mac. We can now do Steam on the PC. We've done the PSVR. We dibble and dabble and just a little bit about everything, because we always like to switch it up.